We've all heard the phrase conspiracy theory used to dismiss ideas as crazy or paranoid.
But here's the uncomfortable truth: sometimes, conspiracy theories turn out to be absolutely real.
Secret government experiments on unsuspecting citizens. Corporate cover-ups that killed thousands. Surveillance programs that seem too dystopian to be true.
Today, we're exploring 7 conspiracy theories that were once dismissed as paranoid fantasies but are now confirmed historical facts with documented evidence.
Number 3 involved the US government plotting false flag terrorist attacks against its own citizens, and the declassified documents prove it. Welcome to Vault Insights.
If you're fascinated by the hidden truths that were once called crazy, you're in the right place. Subscribe and hit that notification bell because the truth is often stranger than fiction.
Let's uncover the conspiracies that turned out to be real. Conspiracy number 7: Tobacco companies knew smoking caused cancer.
For decades, tobacco companies insisted that cigarettes were safe, even healthy.
Doctors appeared in advertisements recommending specific brands.
The industry spent billions claiming there was no proof that smoking caused cancer.
This was dismissed as a conspiracy theory by those who suggested Big Tobacco was lying.
But they were right. In the 1990s, internal documents were leaked and released through legal proceedings. These documents, dating back to the 1950s, proved that tobacco companies had research showing cigarettes caused cancer, were highly addictive, and killed users.
They knew. They hid it.
They lied about it for 40 years while millions died.
The conspiracy was real. One internal memo from 1969 stated bluntly, "We are in the business of selling nicotine, an addictive drug." Another document showed they specifically targeted teenagers to create lifelong customers.
The Master Settlement Agreement in 1998 forced tobacco companies to pay over $200 billion and release these damning documents. What was called paranoid conspiracy theory was proven to be systematic corporate fraud resulting in millions of deaths. Conspiracy number 6: COINTELPRO, FBI surveillance and disruption. In the 1960s, activists, civil rights leaders, and anti-war protesters claimed the FBI was spying on them, infiltrating their organizations, and actively trying to destroy their movements. This was widely dismissed as paranoid conspiracy thinking. The government wouldn't do that. Except they absolutely did. In 1971, activists broke into an FBI office in Media, Pennsylvania, and stole classified documents. What they found was shocking: COINTELPRO, short for Counterintelligence Program. The FBI had systematically surveilled, infiltrated, discredited, and disrupted domestic political organizations they deemed subversive. Targets included Martin Luther King Jr., whom the FBI tried to blackmail into suicide. They infiltrated the Black Panthers and other civil rights groups. They sent anonymous letters trying to break up marriages and destroy reputations. They encouraged violence between rival groups. This wasn't speculation, it was official FBI policy, approved at the highest levels. The Church Committee investigations in 1975 confirmed everything. Files were declassified. The conspiracy was proven true. The FBI formally apologized, though the damage was done. Critics who were called paranoid turned out to be absolutely correct. Conspiracy number 5: MKUltra, CIA mind control experiments. Imagine suggesting that the CIA was secretly dosing American citizens with LSD without their knowledge, conducting mind control experiments, and trying to create programmed assassins. You'd be called insane. Except this actually happened. MKUltra was a CIA program that ran from 1953 to 1973. The agency conducted illegal experiments on unwitting US and Canadian citizens, testing drugs, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, and torture techniques to develop mind control methods. They dosed people with LSD in bars, brothels, and hospitals without consent. They funded experiments at universities and psychiatric institutions. Some subjects died. Many suffered permanent psychological damage. The program was exposed in 1975 during congressional investigations. Though the CIA director ordered most MKUltra files destroyed in 1973, enough survived to prove the conspiracy was real. We know they tested on at least hundreds of people, possibly thousands. One victim, Frank Olson, was dosed with LSD by CIA agents and died falling from a hotel window days later, officially ruled suicide, though evidence suggests murder.
The CIA admitted the program existed and apologized. What seemed like science fiction paranoia was documented fact. Conspiracy number 4, the Tuskegee Syphilis Study. For 40 years, the U.S. Public Health Service told black men in Alabama they were receiving free healthcare. In reality, researchers were deliberately not treating their syphilis to study the disease's progression. The men were lied to, experimented on, and left to suffer and die. Suggesting the government would do this was considered a racist conspiracy theory. It was all true. The Tuskegee study began in 1932, involving 600 black men, 399 with syphilis and 201 without. Researchers told them they were being treated for bad blood. They received placebos. Even after penicillin became the standard cure for syphilis in 1947, the men were not treated. Researchers actively prevented them from receiving treatment elsewhere. Many died. Their wives were infected. Children were born with congenital syphilis. The study continued until 1972, when a whistleblower leaked the story to the press. Public outrage ended it. In 1997, President Clinton formally apologized. The survivors received settlements, though it could never undo the damage. This wasn't speculation, it was documented medical records proving a 40-year conspiracy of medical racism. The skeptics who said the government wouldn't do that were proven wrong. Conspiracy number 3, Operation Northwoods, false flag attacks proposed. In the early 1960s, if someone claimed the U.S. government was planning to stage terrorist attacks against American citizens and blame Cuba to justify war, they'd be dismissed as a paranoid conspiracy theorist. But that's exactly what the Joint Chiefs of Staff proposed. Operation Northwoods was a 1962 plan drafted by the Department of Defense and Joint Chiefs of Staff. The proposal included staging fake terrorist attacks, sinking boats carrying Cuban refugees, orchestrating violent terrorism in U.S. cities, hijacking planes, and creating fake casualties, all to be blamed on Cuba, manufacturing public support for military intervention. The plan was signed by every member of the Joint Chiefs. It went to President Kennedy's desk. He rejected it, and it was kept secret for decades. The documents were declassified in 1997, confirming what would have seemed like insane conspiracy theory was actually official military planning. The plot was real, documented, and signed by the highest military authorities. It was only Kennedy's rejection that prevented it. Those who worry about false flag operations aren't always paranoid, sometimes they're reading declassified history. Conspiracy number 2, NSA mass surveillance. Before 2013, suggesting the government was collecting records of every phone call, email, and internet search by every American was conspiracy theory territory. Privacy advocates were dismissed as paranoid. The government said it wasn't happening. They were lying. Edward Snowden, an NSA contractor, leaked classified documents in 2013 proving the NSA was conducting mass surveillance on an unimaginable scale. The PRISM program collected data from Google, Facebook, Apple, Microsoft, and other tech companies. The NSA collected metadata on every phone call made in America. They tapped undersea internet cables. They compromised encryption standards. They surveilled Allied leaders. The scope was staggering and illegal under existing laws. The documents were authentic, verified, and undeniable. The conspiracy theorists were right. The government was watching everything. James Clapper, Director of National Intelligence, had directly lied to Congress about it months before the leaks. Following exposure, some programs were curtailed, but many continue. Snowden remains in exile, charged under the Espionage Act. What was called paranoid delusion turned out to be documented reality. Trust in government surveillance claims was permanently shattered. Conspiracy number 1, Watergate, the original conspiracy. Watergate seems obvious now,
but in 1972, suggesting the President of the United States was running a criminal conspiracy from the Oval Office was called a crazy conspiracy theory by the administration and their defenders. The idea that Nixon would order illegal surveillance, break-ins, and cover-ups seemed too extreme.
It was all true.
It started with a break-in at the Democratic National Committee headquarters in the Watergate complex. The burglars were connected to Nixon's re-election campaign.
The White House denied everything, calling accusations a conspiracy theory by political enemies. But journalists Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein followed the evidence. The FBI investigated.
Congressional hearings revealed the truth: Nixon had ordered illegal surveillance of political enemies.
He maintained an enemies list. He used the CIA and FBI for political purposes.
He ordered the Watergate break-in cover-up. The smoking gun came when tape recordings from the Oval Office proved Nixon personally directed the conspiracy.
He resigned in 1974 before certain impeachment. Multiple administration officials went to prison. What started as dismissed conspiracy theory became the textbook example of proven political conspiracy. Watergate permanently changed how Americans viewed presidential power and government honesty. The conspiracy theorists were vindicated.
There you have it, 7 conspiracy theories that turned out to be absolutely true, backed by declassified documents, legal proceedings, and government admissions. From tobacco companies to presidential corruption, from illegal experiments to mass surveillance, these weren't paranoid fantasies, they were hidden realities eventually exposed.
This doesn't mean every conspiracy theory is true, but it does mean healthy skepticism of official narratives isn't always paranoia.
Sometimes the conspiracy theorists are just early.
Which of these shocked you most? Did you already know about any of them? Drop your thoughts in the comments.
If this video opened your eyes to documented conspiracies, please hit the like button and subscribe to Vault Insights. We explore the hidden truths and fascinating mysteries of our world every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday.
Next video, we're looking at the most recent scientific discoveries that are changing everything right now.
Thanks for watching, and remember, question everything, but verify with evidence.
See you in the next video.